In California, a man named Eduardo had just been broken up with by his girlfriend named Angelica, as she felt the relationship had run its course and needed to end. But this didn't sit right with Eduardo, as she allegedly didn't give too much detail on why she wanted to split. And less than 3 months later, after breaking up with Eduardo over text message, Angelica had started dating a new man and was allegedly getting engaged. And this turned Eduardo, who was described by friends and co-workers as a hard-working and friendly man, into a stalker and psychopath. He had begun to stalk his now ex-girlfriend's every move on social media, and after being blocked, he decided to take it a step further and stalk her in person. And on March 3rd, 2018, Eduardo would show up at her house at almost 11 o'clock at night while she was home alone and started peeking through her windows before eventually trying to make his way inside. And after realizing there was somebody outside of her house, Angelica frantically called 911.
911, where is the emergency?
Hello, 911?
Hey, please help me. Somebody's trying to get in my house.
What are they doing?
They tried my front door, my front door, and now they're trying to break in my back gate.
Okay, stay on the line with me. I've already got office started. Do not hang up, okay?
I'm terrified.
Okay. I've got officers already on the way. I'm going to keep you on the phone until the officers get there, okay? You said that they're trying the back gate now?
I think they're in the back now.
Okay, so first the front
Somebody's
door.
in the back and on my porch.
Someone's on your porch?
Please hurry, please.
Ma'am, they're coming out there as fast as they can. Can you see anybody? I'm not asking you to look, but did you see anyone? Like, are there any open windows?
Somebody's banging on my Arcadia door.
Okay, are you expecting anybody?
No.
Okay.
There's no vehicles out front of my driveway. Now somebody's walking around on my back porch.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to keep you on the phone until the officers get there, okay? Do not hang up.
Unfortunately for Angelica, he made his way inside the house, and by the time police arrived, she was nowhere to be found, and that would be the last time anyone heard from her alive. The next time she was seen, she was stuffed in a suitcase in a shallow grave in a wooded area. But due to police having clear security footage from her house, it didn't take long for them to arrest and charge Eduardo with the kidnapping and murder. In Georgia, a man named Jonathan and his girlfriend had gotten into a heated argument while in the car. Jonathan, who had thought his girlfriend was cheating on him, began to physically assault her, causing her to jump out the car and run to the nearest house to seek protection from her abusive boyfriend. Unfortunately for her, the people that lived in the house were hesitant about letting her in, as they didn't know what was going on and who she was, and this gave her boyfriend enough time to get out and drag her back to the car and lock her inside, which was all captured on the doorbell camera of the house.
I saw your baseball. Stop. Yo, stop. Yo, I should slam one in your head right now. Yo. You think you'll get in the car?
Rodney, I'm like,
Get in
I think I'm gonna die.
Good.
Rodney, I think I'm gonna die.
Good. Okay, good. I'm gonna kill you. You wanna die?
Jonathan then drove the car over 10 miles and parked under an abandoned bridge and shot the woman twice before setting the car on fire. But due to the doorbell camera footage, it wasn't difficult for police to find out who was responsible and charge him with the kidnapping and murder. In Arizona, a woman named Bella was walking down the street when she was spotted by a man in a minivan who liked what he saw and attempted to talk to the woman through the window of his car. But the woman wasn't interested and refused to acknowledge his advances at her, so he decided to pull up next to the woman and get out the car to continue his attempt to pick her up. But after denying his request, he decided that if she didn't want to come with him, then he would make her. And he grabbed the woman by her hair and dragged her into his van before driving away. 2 weeks later, police arrested the man named Glenn, but Bella was nowhere to be found, and to this day she still hasn't been found, as the man refused to tell him whether she's alive or not and where she is. March 29, 2019, a 21-year-old college senior named Samantha Josephson entered a car that she thought was her Uber. But unfortunately for her, she had just entered the vehicle of a monster named Nathaniel Rowland. After Samantha entered the car, she realized he wasn't an Uber driver, but Rowland had no plans of letting her out and used child-proof locks to lock her inside the vehicle. Rowland drove 65 miles from the pickup point before ultimately taking her life in a disturbing manner and leaving her body in a field, which was discovered by hunters 14 hours later. Autopsy reports revealed that she had suffered countless sharp force injuries to the head, face, and neck, and Roland was arrested soon after and charged with kidnapping and murder, and is currently awaiting trial. After a night out at the club, a man named Alexander Maslenko invited two women named Darla and Olga back to his house for pizza. The women agreed as they thought they would have a good time, but in reality this would turn out to be the worst time of their lives. Once he got them back to his house, he wanted to have a threesome with the women, but when they refused, he became irate and forcefully tied both of them up and killed them both by slitting their throats. He then fed the remains of the women to his dogs. Maslenko told investigators that he watched as the women begged him not to kill them for over an hour, but he did it anyway, and Maslenko was given leniency as he had mental problems and was only sentenced to 23 years in prison.